I would like to note that the interpreter this evening is Jose Paz. Please raise your hand and ask him for a listening device if you would like interpretation services. Antes de llamar a la Junta Orden, me gustaría notar que contamos con servicios de interpretación para esta Junta y el señor Paz está sentado atrás. I'd like to call this meeting to order for the City Council meeting of March 3rd, 2026. Madam Clerk, can you please call the roll?
Councilmember Aguilera.
Here.
Councilmember Escobedo.
Hi.
Councilmember Soto.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Flores.
Here.
Mayor Patino.
Here. City Attorney, Mr. Watson, would you give the closed session report?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. With respect to the two items 3A and 3B, instructions were provided to the labor negotiators and information from the attorney was provided on the existing litigation. No further report is necessary.
Thank you. Next item is the public comment period. Madam Clerk, will you please read the criteria?
Yes, Madam Mayor. Speakers may provide public comments on any matter within the subject matter jurisdiction of the City Council. Each speaker will be limited to 3 minutes, a maximum of 15 minutes for public comment period. Unless a majority of the council objects, the mayor may provide speakers more or less time to speak. All comments or queries shall be addressed to the council as a body and not to any specific member thereof. Pursuant to Government Code 54954.2A2, the Ralph M. Brown Act, no action or discussion by the City Council shall be undertaken on any item not appearing on the posted agenda except to briefly provide information, ask for clarification, provide direction to staff, or schedule a matter for a future meeting.
Thank you. And we have 3 requests to speak. I'll have Gary Hall, followed by Rochelle Carr, followed by Dina Ray Soares.
Good evening, Madam Mayor, council members, staff, and the citizens of Santa Maria. My name is Gary Hall. I'm a resident of Rancho Buena Vista Mobile Estates at 2135 North Railroad Avenue here in Santa Maria. I represent the North Santa Barbara County Manufactured Homeowners Team, or NSBIT. NSBIT's primary goal remains to provide protection to all Santa Maria mobile home residents presently living in an unregulated rental market. We are simply asking for the city of Santa Maria to stand with us maintaining affordable housing. Affordable mobile home living is vanishing here in Santa Maria and all across the state. I have repeatedly reminded you that on June 7th, 2022, nearly 4 years ago, this council passed a motion with the intention of improving the 2020 model lease or replacing it. It has done neither. We believe now is the time to take action to replace the model lease with a uniform, mandatory, and enforceable mobile home rent stabilization program, much like those in our neighboring city and county jurisdictions. Santa Maria's mobile home seniors also continue to live with the ongoing threat that their senior mobile home park could be converted into an all-age park, as was attempted at Del Cielo Senior Mobile Home Park in Orchid. I brought this to the council's attention on August 20th, 2024. Now, 18 months later, we remain hopeful the draft Senior Mobile Home Park zoning overlay ordinance being developed by Santa Maria Community Development personnel and apparently still in internal review will soon be completed and adopted. It's past time to add both mobile home rent stabilization and senior mobile home park conversion prevention to near-term future meeting agenda. Now, my final comment is to inform you that the NSBIT Board of Directors finds the ongoing ICE abuse of power, both locally and nationally, as appalling. Immigrants, documented or not, are human beings and should be treated humanely. The Constitution and due process should be enforced, not ignored. We must find appropriate ways to address immigration. The February 3rd resolution of support was a good first step. But now we share the hope of others that an immigration ad hoc committee will be allowed to develop a meaningful path forward the entire city could support. Thank you.
Rochelle Carr. Is Ms. Carr here?
Hello, Mayor Patino and Santa Maria City Council members. My name is Rochelle Carr, and I am a nurse. I live and work in Santa Maria, and I am a volunteer with 805 UnDocuFund as a legal observer of ICE activity, which is my right under the First Amendment of the Constitution. I was observing at the ICE office last night at 6:30 p.m., and then I waved to my friend saying bye as I proceeded to drive home. In my rearview mirror, I then saw a black Dodge Caravan with a cage in it and an ICE agent driving it, and then proceeded to attempt to drive me home, to follow me home, which I believe is absolutely not part of their job description. Luckily, I was able to call my friend via our hotline number at 805-870-8855 for help in the case that there was something more that was about to happen. I pulled over at Waller Park, and my friend came, and the ICE agent decided to leave the situation. So if you would like to access a network of vetted friends who care about each other and social justice, I highly encourage you to join our organization. Here are some flyers with a QR code that take you to our volunteer sign-up page where you can learn more about the different roles and sign up for the next in-person training. So I just wanted to make sure that this event that happened last night at 6:30 p.m. was publicly documented in case something worse should happen to me, like what happened to Alex Preddy, who was murdered by ICE agents. I would love for the City Council to stand up for our First Amendment rights and hold law enforcement accountable for their actions when they choose to try to intimidate residents and jeopardize people's safety. This was not the first time this has happened to one of our volunteers. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Dina Ray Soares. Ms. Soares, are you here? Oh.
Thank you, Ms. Patina. I want to thank you for being here, all the city council members. The point I was going to make was about the camping process. We have no camping actually in Santa Maria, except for the Fair Park, which is very generous, but that's a little overrated. The tourists are kind of resumed to go up further to the coast to Pismo Coast. We have a bulletin board out coming into Santa Maria. I noticed it the other night about camping and the Skyview motorhomes. You can go buy your trailer, you can, park it somewhere, but we don't have camping. And I've been here over 63 years, born and raised here in Santa Maria, camper as it is. And I want to thank you for letting me do my residing here in Santa Maria. I work with the Homeless Coalition quite a bit, and we're trying to lower it, to keep people facilitated, housed, worked, and keep being of service. I would really think that maybe to keep tourists involved in Santa Maria and keep them, they're going to be up and down the Central Coast, especially for our barbecue, and they have a lot of interest in Santa Maria still. One other thing, I think there's a lot of empty facilities here in Santa Maria. And the building, I don't have any, small town girl in Santa Maria, 63 years old, and it's growing so fast. You've done a great job, by the way. I think that we need to look at all the empty facilities and try to reestablish, and maybe rather than building so much, I think the apartments across where Mervin's is at, it's going to be great if you want to live downtown. I'm more of a country girl, and I think it's growing a little fast, but I want to thank you very much. And there's still a lot of property available. Thank you, Mayor Patino and council members.
Thank you. Okay. Mr. Escobedo?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Before we move on, I would like to present a letter, notification. Dear Mayor and Council members, please accept this letter of formal notice of my resignation from my position as Council member for District 1 with the City of Santa Maria, effective March 3rd, 2026. Due to my upcoming move outside District 1, I will not longer meet the residency requirement necessary to continue serving in this role. While this decision comes with mixed emotions, I believe stepping down is the appropriate and responsible course of action. Serving the residents of District 1 and the broader Santa Maria community has been a tremendous honor. I'm deeply grateful for the trust placed in me and for the opportunity to work alongside dedicated staff and the community partners in service of our city. I'm committed to supporting a smooth transition to prior my departure. Thank you again for the privilege of serving our community. Respectfully, Carlos Escobedo, City Council Member, District 1.
So that's effective now? Well, do we talk about what happens next? No, okay.
As surprised as I am, I will be providing the council with a memorandum as to next steps. But as of right now, that seat is vacant, and probably the next election would be the municipal election in November. Prior to that, maybe an appointment, but I have some work to do. So
Thank you.
I'm equally surprised.
So staff didn't have prior notice of this? No?
Okay.
No, but there will be an election.
There will be an election in November, but between now and then, I will provide legal opinion to council
On appointment?
whether or not an appointment and how such an appointment would take place.
Thank you, Mr. Watson. Now we move to the consent calendar. Does anyone have items they wish to pull for discussion?
None?
No? Okay, do I have a motion?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Having heard a motion and a second, any further discussion? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, can you please call the roll?
Councilmember Soto?
Aye.
Councilmember Aguilera?
Here. Aye.
Councilmember Soto?
Aye.
Councilmember Aguilera?
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Flores?
Aye.
Mayor Patino?
Aye. Next is a regular business item, introducing an ordinance. This report will be given by Interim Director of Recreation and Parks, Dennis Smitherman.
Good evening, Madam Mayor, City Council members. The item before you tonight is a clarification in ordinance number 2025-03 regarding fee approval authority. The purpose of this amendment is to ensure that final approval authority for all new recreation park fees and increases to existing fees rests with the City Council. As you recall, on June 3rd, 2025, Council approved a standardized methodology for establishing recreation and park fees. At that time, Council also authorized the Recreation and Parks Commission to conduct public hearings on proposed fee changes and forward its recommendation to Council for consideration and adoption. At the time of establishing the fee for the new Japanese Community Center, it was identified that wording in Section 10-1-02 could be interpreted as allowing the Commission to adopt fees subject only later to Council review. While council would have retained the ability to repeal those fees, that structure does not clearly reflect council's intent for fees that require approval before taking effect. This amendment before you tonight corrects that ambiguity. Specifically, it requires City Council approval by resolution or ordinance before any recreation and parks fee or fee increase may become effective. It removes the language suggesting that commission-adopted fees take effect prior to council action, and preserves the Recreation and Parks Commission authorized role to conduct public hearings and provide recommendations to City Council. This action does not change the adopted fee methodology. It does not remove the Commission's role in the process, and it does not establish or modify any current fees. It simply aligns the municipal code with the governance structure Council has previously directed. There's no fiscal impact associated with this clarification. The staff recommend introduction of the amended ordinance number 2025-03 to clarify the Recreation and Parks Fee Approval Authority. This amendment is about process clarity, ensuring that the municipal code accurately reflects council's policy direction and approval authority. I'm available for any questions.
Are there any questions from the council? Hearing none. Are there any requests to speak, Madam Clerk?
For 11A? Not for 11A, Madam Mayor.
Okay. Do I have a motion? I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? If not, Madam Clerk, can you please call the roll?
Councilmember Soto?
Aye.
Councilmember Aguilera? Aye. Mayor Pro Tem Flores? Aye. Mayor Patino?
Aye. Motion carries. The next item is a presentation on the Measure U annual report to be given by the Director of Finance, Rebecca Campbell. Good evening, Ms. Campbell.
Good evening, Mayor, members of council. Rebecca Campbell, Director of Finance. And so we have a presentation. And so I'm here tonight to represent and go over the Measure U Fund and the annual report for the period ending for fiscal year 24-25. So I'll present the report and then ask that you file the committee's annual report. Looking at the history of Measure U, on June 5th, the electors of the City of Santa Maria adopted the Measure U 2012, and it provided for an additional quarter-cent transaction and use tax at the time. The city started receiving those revenues in 2013 and increased their essential city services, primarily police and fire. The Measure U tax was established, the committee was established in July of 2012, and they were established by the City Council to ensure that there was transparency over the Measure U funds. They also review an annual report and financial statement, and they make findings and then present that to council every year. In November of 2018, 74% of the voters in Santa Maria extended and enhanced the Measure U transaction and use tax from a quarter-cent to a full-cent tax rate, and that went into effect in April of 2019. In March of 2019, the City Council set goals and objectives related to the Measure U funds. The goals were to first maintain services and second to make enhancements. The objectives are to make Santa Maria safer and more services for youth and the quality of life. To meet these goals and objectives, the City Council authorized Measure U proceeds and established a fund structure of 90% of the funds to go towards public safety, 5% for youth services, and 5% to the quality of life. Okay. So this chart represents the Measure U financials for fiscal year 24-25. We reviewed this information with the committee on January 26 of 2026. So just going over the numbers, the adopted budget all the way to the left column We started with 26.7 million in revenue. We budgeted 31.1 million in expenses. That budget was amended so that there was 26.9 million in revenue and 37.6 million in expenditures. So that's the current budget in the second column. What was included in that and why the expenditures increased was we had rollovers from the previous year that came into this year. And those rollovers included some unfinished maintenance projects, equipment, vehicles, and capital. And all those items are outlined in page 2 of the report. Looking at the year-end actual column, so that's the second to the last column, we ended up closing the year with 25.9 million in revenue, which was short of our expectation at 96.5%. And the expenditures were 29.9 million. So looking over the departments, the city manager's office was down in their expenditures. They came in $500,000 under budget, and that was related to the Motorola CAD, the computer-aided dispatch project, which will carry over into this current fiscal year, 25-26. Recreation and Parks, they had some operational savings, but they also had some carryovers that extended into the year we're in now. Fire was significantly down, 64.5%, and those were due to one-time projects carrying over as well. And police was right on, pretty close to being on target at 99.6%. So if you look, the actuals closely represent the operational spending in this budget. So this is concerning here in that second to last column. Our expenditures are exceedingly over what we're bringing in revenue for Measure U. But I do want to remind you, in January, we brought the rebalancing effort, and we're continuing to work on the budget. So the action that you took in January should help to bring the Measure U budget more in line. So we'll bring that update to you as we move along in the budget process. Looking over the Measure U and diving a little deeper into the departments, the city manager's office, so this is what we're funding. We have one full-time equivalent public education and government production manager position. The budget included some funding for operational expenses related to we call it the PEG division. We also had a $1.2 million, the CAD RMS computer-aided dispatch project in that budget. In community development, a total of 6 code enforcement officers were supported by the Measure U funding going into the budget. And when we adopted the budget, 1 code enforcement officer was taken off of Measure U funds and put into the general fund, and that was to keep that 95-5-5 ratio and meet the council's goals and objectives. In the finance department, there's a small amount there budgeted for the Measure U audit. And in fire, Measure U funds 49.8 positions that are supported. And due to that balancing of objectives and goals, we did include costs for the regional dispatch, which opened in May, as well as funding for the Fire Station 1 expansion project. Looking at library, funding when the budget was adopted it supported 7.6 full-time and part-time staff. When we entered, we did reduce by a position, and that got moved to the general fund to keep that 95-5 ratio. And there was $45,000 for architectural services for capital improvement project. In the police department, Measure U supported 54 positions for 24-25, and when we were able to fund 6 police officer positions that were previously authorized but unfunded, and they also included some operational funds for building maintenance and upgrades. For recreation and parks, a total of 19.2 positions were supported by Measure U, and in 24-25, in this budget as well, 7.6 positions were moved to the general fund to keep that 95-5 ratio. Also included were some capital funds for the Veterans Memorial Park and some equipment. So looking at the results, so this represents the expenditures and where the results came in to meet the council's goals and objectives. When we reviewed this with the Measure U committee, they did make one recommendation that night, and they originally we had included the CAD RMS Motorola dispatch project in the city manager's office. That was in the quality of life category. And so they recommended that we put it in the public safety category, and we agreed. So we moved it over, and then really the targets came out right on track of your goals and priorities. Looking at the status of the Measure U fund balance. So we entered the year with unassigned $6.2 million and ended the year with 2.3, and included in that was 6.3 of carryover funds that we nearly used all up at the end of the year. So we started the year with 12.5 million incoming fund balance, and we ended the year with 8.6 to roll to the next year. So with that, could I answer any questions? Or I would ask that you receive and file the report.
Any questions of the council?
Yes.
Ms. Soto?
Thank you for the report, and thank you to the Measure U Oversight Committee for their diligence and preparation for today. I saw that in the report you mentioned that Measure U revenues came in below projection, and it's interesting because when we amended the budget for Measure U, we actually increased it. It was a minimal increase, but nonetheless an increase. And so, given that revenues were less than projected, would you say that we are potentially seeing a broader trend when it comes to sales tax decline in the city? And how would those projections inform upcoming budget discussions?
Yes, unfortunately, statewide, we're seeing sales tax pretty flat right now. And so that's what we have to work with. Last year in our budget, our sales tax came in nearly under, almost flat. But we were able to, we had an increase in our property tax and growth in our property tax, which made up for it. So right now, looking ahead, it was with folks from Santa Barbara Auditor's Office last week, and I asked them about the property tax. What are we looking for? They said probably about 2% growth, which, you know, when you look at your costs, our costs are outweighing our revenue increases. So right now we're anticipating a nearly flat sales tax growth and very minimal property tax growth. So we'll have to just deal with that as we plan for the budgeting moving forward.
Right. And I think this is also very telling because when we adopted the budget, we adopted it knowing that expenses were going to outweigh revenues, but my understanding that was because of carryover projects. And so please correct me if I'm wrong, but my understanding was that we had about $6 million in carryovers from the year prior. And so how common is that for us to see those large carryovers year after year? And how will that also impact our ability to project?
Yes, it happens because if there's construction projects or, you know, there may be other circumstances where purchases take longer than a year. You know, we got to plan for those, so we'll carry those projects over. But we take that into account, and if we don't spend it, it should fall to the fund balance, and it should be available for the next year. But then we also have to take into account our revenues and our new operational expenses. And so we take it all into account. So you really want to plan for what you're spending is what you're receiving on an operational. And then what you're saving can be carried over here for your one-time projects. And then if you have excess fund balance and you save during the year, you can work towards other one-time projects. And so that's the goal of the budgeting. And so we do take that into account. And we had some big projects budgeted, and they continued to carry over into this year. So we'll be looking at that as well.
Can you remind me how much we're expecting to carry over into this year?
I don't have that right now, but I can get that for you.
Yeah. And the reason why I'm asking this question is because during Saturday's session, we were talking about just increased costs when it comes to like shipping, materials, and so if we're carrying projects over, I would assume that those expenses may also be slightly higher, or may just be higher because we're delaying the projects versus getting them done. So
Yeah, or they
not
could
that
be
you need
taking
it.
more time, you know.
Right.
Like we had I'll just give you one example, was the Fire Station 1 expansion. We know that project's going to take a long time. But I want to remind you as well that we put it on hold in January of 2026. So we'll have to see, and we're going to have to reevaluate that project to see how we're going to fund it.
Those are all my questions.
Thank
Thank
you.
you for the report.
Any other questions? No. Madam Clerk, do we have any requests to speak or written comments?
Not for item 11B, no, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Do I have a motion and a second?
I move that we receive and file the Measure U Citizens Oversight Committee Annual Report.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion or questions? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, can you please call the
Councilmember
roll?
Aguilera?
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Flores?
Aye.
Councilmember Soto?
Aye.
And Mayor Patino?
Aye. Motion carries. Next is the continuation of the discussion to form an immigration and ad hoc committee. City Manager Dave Rollins will start us off.
Thank you, Madam Mayor and City Council. This item tonight is to discuss whether you want to potentially form an immigration ad hoc committee. If City Council elects to form an immigration ad hoc committee, a list of responsibilities will be developed for your consideration at an upcoming City Council meeting. So I'll turn it over to you for your discussion and deliberation.
Madam Mayor, one other thing.
Yes,
that
Mr. Watson.
If a committee is so determined to be, any appointment thereto would be at the next meeting together with the, you wouldn't take nominations for that this evening,
Okay.
because we need to form the committee.
Madam Mayor.
Yes, Ms. Soto?
Given that I was the one who brought this forward last August, I would like to just provide some further context. I know that conversations will most likely still be pending after tonight's vote, but nonetheless, I figured that I'd come prepared, as that was something that was requested by my colleagues last time we discussed. And so, you know, something that I was considering for what I was considering for this committee was, you know, for the structure to be, you know, 2 council members to sit on that committee, having a community advisor sit on that committee, as well as legal support from our city attorney's office and city manager's office, as well as perhaps the chief of police to sit on this committee. In terms of the purpose of the committee, it would be to review existing city policies and practices related to immigration matters, assess the local impacts of immigration enforcement on Santa Maria residents and institutions, ensure that our policies are clearly aligned with applicable state and our constitutional laws, and develop policy recommendations for the council to consider for consideration that clarify the appropriate use of city resources and to strengthen community trust. And the way that I would foresee this committee to fulfill that purpose would be through policy review and legal alignment, so reviewing current city policies regarding the compliance with the California Values Act and any other related state law. Ensure that city funds, personnel, facilities, equipment, or data are not used to assist with any civil immigration enforcement. Work with the city attorney's office to ensure that any recommendations, of course, are legal and defensible. When it comes to our police department, we would review existing police department policies to confirm alignment with state law regarding non-enforcement regarding the enforcement of the non-enforcement of civil immigration law. Assess whether additional policy transparency or public clarification would strengthen community understanding and trust. Request information from the police chief and review data from DHS regarding inquiries, notifications, requests to the city, or any related communications involving the city for us to also better understand the volume and the nature of interactions, if there are any. And also have, of course, community input and assess the community impact. So convene stakeholder meetings with representatives from schools, businesses, faith leaders, legal service providers, youth organizations, and community-based groups. This would also give us the opportunity to document impacts of the current immigration enforcement climate on public safety, school attendance, workforce participation, and access to city services. And then when it comes to community support and resource evaluation, evaluate lawful policy options within our city's authority to support immigrant residents, including the feasibility of contributing to or supporting immigrant legal defense efforts in the city of Santa Maria, and guidelines for lawful use of city facilities for informational workshops or community support services. I know that this was something that my colleagues had asked at the last meeting, more information of what the purpose of the committee would be and what the committee would be working towards. And so I wanted to share that with all of you and see where this conversation takes us tonight.
Thank you. Are there any questions from the council before we start? Okay. No. I have 24 requests to speak. I'm going to, instead of 3 minutes, you'll have 2 minutes to speak unless anyone wants. Is that fine? That's fine. Is that fine? That's fine. Okay. Start with Cliff Solomon, followed by Esteban Ramirez, followed by Mayra Lopez.
2 minutes. Good evening, Mayor Patino and City Council members. My name is Cliff Solomon, and I am involved in a variety of local organizations, including Indivisible Santa Maria. I am here tonight to thank you for agendizing the Immigration Ad Hoc Committee. It has been a long time coming, and I look forward to hearing your thoughts about the committee. As you know, I have been a strong supporter of creating the Immigration Committee. Why? Mainly because it is a crucial first step towards addressing the challenges we face in Santa Maria as ICE continues to detain innocent people. We just heard a story about this evening. I see this committee as just the beginning. I encourage you to establish the Immigration Ad Hoc Committee so we can start a dialogue on how to tackle the immigration issue. It's essential to involve the local community in this effort. Several groups speaking tonight have deep knowledge of immigration needs, and they must be a part of the conversation. In addition, Councilwoman Soto has repeatedly suggested specific steps for your discussion, and they make sense. As I mentioned, this is only the first step. You will hear from my colleagues about other possible solutions to this problem. I suggest that you consider leasing city buildings at little or no cost to nonprofits offering immigration support services, pass a motion to establish ICE-free zones, host a Know Your Rights workshop in Santa Maria to show solidarity with the immigrant community. Again, thank you for agendizing the Immigration Ad Hoc Committee. I look forward to its formation in the City Council to take further steps to make Santa Maria safe for everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Solomon. Estefan Ramirez, followed by Myra Lopez.
Good afternoon, Mayor and Council members. My name is Myra Lopez. I am a student here at El Camino, Santa Maria, District 2. Today I'm here to advocate for this council to establish an immigrant ad hoc committee. This ad hoc committee will help our communities with knowledge and concerns about increasing ICE activities here within Santa Maria. If established, this committee could discuss potential action items and resolution the city can take to protect our immigrant community. This includes allocating city buildings to nonprofit leading this immigration support services for little or no cost. We also need information on when or where ICE is located at all times. So we request information and transparency from SMPDS Chef Williams regarding any actions towards educating officers on the new state laws that are now in effect, as well prohibit any information with ICE. We are the biggest city in the SB County with Latino immigrants. Yet the council has failed our community. In Santa Maria alone, we had 435 kidnappings that we know of. In Santa Barbara County, altogether, 671. We want Advocate Hope Committee to be led by council members Gloria Soto and Gloria Flores, who have been more receptive to this issue. Community is not just a word without the actual people in it. This community needs to feel safe. People are scared to take their kids to school, immigrant or non-immigrant. We are tired of hearing no for an answer. We need to be heard and taken seriously. I myself am worried to be judged by the color of my skin. We urge this council to take a strong and principled stand.
Thank you, Ms. Lopez. Emily Diaz, followed by Elvia Salazar. Emily Diaz, followed by Elvia Salazar, followed by Rochelle Carr.
Buenas tardes, alcaldesa y concejales.
Good evening, Mayor Patino and council members.
Mi nombre es Elvia Salazar y soy una orgullosa residente de Santa María, California. Hoy estoy aquí para instar encarecidamente a este consejo a que establezca formalmente un comité ad hoc sobre inmigración.
My name is Elvia Salazar. I'm a resident in Santa Maria. Today I'm here to instill and be here to talk what I feel and formally be here as a committee of the AD Hoc about immigration.
Este comité ayudaría a abordar las preocupaciones de nuestras comunidades sobre el aumento de la actividad de ICE en Santa María.
This committee will help the community and in the activity with the activity of the ICE in Santa Maria.
Si se establece este comité, podría ayudar a debatir posibles medidas y resoluciones para proteger a la comunidad inmigrante.
If this committee will succeed, we will help the community and resolve the immigration in the community.
Enviar solicitudes al director de ICE para obtener más información sobre el número de detenciones que se han realizado en Santa María y las actividades de ICE dentro de los límites de la ciudad, basándonos en la Ley de Libertad de Información.
First, we will send to ICE or the director of ICE copies and numbers of people that have been arrested in Santa Maria and the activities that the ICE has been doing illegally.
También ayudaría que la ciudad de Santa María organice talleres sobre el tema de Conoce tus derechos.
Also, that Santa Maria organize workshops to raise your rights.
Asignar edificios municipales a organizaciones sin fines de lucro que presten servicios de apoyo a los inmigrantes a un costo reducido o sin costo alguno.
And finally, we would like to have places, buildings, where immigrants could go and have services with a reduced cost or no cost.
Insto a este consejo a que adopte una postura firme y basada en principios, que trabaje para fomentar la confianza entre la ciudad y sus miembros de la comunidad.
I insist that this adoption of this committee is because of our work and prioritize our
Go ahead and continue.
of the city of Santa Maria and the community. Thank you.
Gracias.
Thank you. Emily Diaz, followed by Rochelle Carr, followed by Robert Gibson.
Good evening, Mayor and council members. My name is Emily. I'm only here to strongly urge you guys to establish an immigration ad hoc committee. Not only will this committee help our community, but it will also help them to feel heard. It will help the parents know that they have support within the community by being able to get many things from this committee. I myself have been in fear about my family being torn apart by people I don't even know. When my niece is born, how can I reassure myself that she can grow up with a father without ICE-free zones? Because now, more than ever, our own homes aren't safe for us anymore. Even for us U.S. citizens, we can't walk freely without looking over our shoulders, fearing that one day we could be their next victim. Not because of the way we talk, but because of the way we look. Just in Santa Maria alone, there have been over 435 kidnappings. That's the most out of the whole Santa Barbara County. We don't want them to believe that Santa Maria is just an easy target because of our hardworking undocumented community. Without our undocumented community, the city would not be as it is currently. Thank you.
Rochelle Carr, followed by Robert Gibson, followed by Lorena M. Okay, I'll hold it. Robert Gibson, followed by Lorena M., followed by Teresa Suarez.
Hello, Mayor Patino and council members. I'm here representing UDW, United Domestic Workers, and we wanted to show up in support of the creation of an ad hoc committee for immigration. And really, we'd like to respond first to a couple of things. Something said by Mayor Patino in earlier discussions, as well as Councilmember Flores. For Mayor Patino, the discussion about immigration being a federal issue, and that much of the control and much of the responsibility lies there. Absolutely true. However, there are so many things that can be done at a city level. So we prepared some information, sort of like an ad hoc committee. Our team gathered some information to share with you. What can cities do? We tried to pull from bipartisan, nonpartisan, academic resources, such as the Transatlantic Council for Migration, and we shared with you their document, Migrations, Local Dividends, How Cities and Regions Can Make the Most of Immigration. We pulled from the George Bush, Foundation, Welcoming Immigrants, What State and Local Policy Agendas for Helping Immigrants Can Learn, and how we can help folks belong and contribute to our communities. Again, from the Transatlantic Council, Immigrant Civic Integration and Service Access, City-Sized Solutions for City-Sized Needs. Also, some city index of best practices at a city level. All of these things are things that can be done at a city level. We found many more resources, but those are just a few. And we would like for you to, one, respond to what it says on your website, that you'll respond to the community's needs. And then also to trust the community. This should be trust-based civic engagement here. Trust us to participate with you in good faith in developing recommendations for our future.
Thank you, Mr. Gibson. This is what you gave us?
That's what we gave you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Lorena M. Teresa Suarez.
Good evening, Mayor Patino and council members. I have come before you various times. I live and work and have family in the city of Santa Maria, District 3. I'm one of the youth coordinator for Tequio with MyCup and member of the 805 Immigrant Coalition. Once again, I'm asking you respectfully to support the establishment of an immigrant ad hoc committee. I truly believe that through this committee, we can create a space where we can stop generalizing, where we can stop making harmful comments, and where we can respond to residents with empathy instead of putting them down. Remaining silent during this process is being complicit. And the majority of the council members have remained silent when the only time you speak up is to question us in defense rather than to understand our lived experiences. It deepens the divide. We're asking for support. We're asking to come together, yet there has been very little interest and it is heartbreaking that our most vulnerable community members, our youths and children, are witnessing your current process and losing hope in their city leaders. This climate of fear is also affecting youth participations in schools and extracurricular activities. Students are afraid to stay after school for sports, clubs, tutoring, and leadership programs because they don't feel safe. Things are escalating. How much further are we willing to let them escalate before we take actions? Put yourself in our shoes. Would you be okay if you or your family members are racially profiled because of the way you look, the color of your skin, or your accent, and so on? We have many stories. How many do you need to hear before actions is taken? We're asking you to meet with us and work towards real solutions together. Thank you.
Thank you. Teresa Suarez, followed by Fernando Martinez, followed by Adam.
Good evening, Mayor and council members and the community. My name is Lorena. I'm a resident of Santa Maria. I am here today to strongly urge this council to formally establish an immigration ad hoc committee. This ad hoc committee would help address our community's concerns on the increasing ICE activity within Santa Maria. We've seen how families are living in constant fear across the city. Parents are scared to go to work or even to drop their children off at school. Some even asking their neighbors if they could take their kids to school for them because they're in fear that they'll be taken. High school students like myself and my peers should be anxious about applying to colleges or even waiting on their college decisions, refreshing their emails, and thinking about their future. Students should be worried about tests or practice after school. Instead, many are worrying about whether or not their parents will come home. The stress of living under constant threat isn't just emotional, but it destabilizes families, disrupts children's educations, and has already weakened the trust we have in our local government. By creating this committee, you would be taking a meaningful first step to protect our undocumented community. It would give the city a real space to explore practical actions like seeking transparency about enforcement happening within city limits, making city facilities available to organizations that support immigrant families, and discussing policies that ensure city resources are not used for civil immigration enforcement without proper judicial warrants. We want this committee to be led by Council Member Gloria Soto and Council Member Gloria Flores, and it should include those directly experiencing the challenges, such as students, parents, and local residents, should all be actively involved in shaping the committee's decisions. Voting yes tonight won't fix everything, but it shows you are willing to take responsibility and listen to the people you represent. I urge this council to take a strong and principled stance and establish this immigration ad hoc committee. Thank you.
Thank you. Teresa Suarez. You are not Teresa.
I heard Fernando.
No. Teresa Suarez.
Oh, she just passed. She just went. Teresa just went.
I'm sorry. I thought that was Lorena. Oh, that was, okay.
Lorena.
Okay, Fernando?
I'm guessing I heard right then.
Okay.
I know it was kind of loud, but I heard it correctly. Well, good evening, Mayor Patino and fellow council members. My name is Fernando Martinez. I'm a resident of District 2 with Gloria Flores. I just wanted to come here tonight along with our community members, partners, allies to follow up on our request on the formation of the ad hoc committee that was brought up to the council on the table in September of last year. But in November, the city council decided to postpone the discussion of the ad hoc committee just because there was lack of clarity or lack of knowledge in terms of the formation of the ad hoc committee. And also, I would like to note that in the November meeting, there was about 30 community members, many who were farm workers who were in this meeting space that were not acknowledged and were not given the time to express how they felt in regards to the support the city council could do or should do. Since then, a lot of time has passed, so it is time for us to continue talking about this ad hoc committee. As you know, and Councilmember Soto mentioned, this ad hoc committee can be composed of 2 council members, yet we think it's valuable to consider inviting community members or partner organizations who are working directly with residents being affected by immigration enforcement within our community. This is not complicated. It is a standard mechanism used by other cities to respond to community urgent needs, such as the city of Oxnard that had created an immigration stakeholder meeting with the mayor modeling this type of work that can be done. If this is not an option, we could consider forming community forums that would inform community members about their basic rights and other resources available. This is not a radical idea. This is a very practical idea. Any city would take initiative to address needs that are affecting their community. And immigration is a big topic, and there's things that you can do within your control. Although there's things that you can also be able to do without implicating too much in terms of the federal immigration laws. Thank you.
Thank you. Adam? Followed by Cristina Merida, and followed by Patricio Solario, followed by Chris.
Hello, City Council. My name is Adam, and I'm a proud resident and youth advocate of Santa Maria. I'm here to strongly urge the City Council to formally establish an immigration ad hoc committee. If established, the committee could discuss potential action items and resolutions that a city can take to protect our immigrant community. And we want community voices to be included in this committee. I am a voice, and my voice is saying that it is so frustrating to hear someone name the names of victims who had been hurt by undocumented immigrants to justify their disgusting agenda. We have seen this in history when Japanese Americans were forced out of their homes because they were blamed for Pearl Harbor, Jews who were forced into concentration camps because they were blamed for the economy, and gay people who were denied in hospitals due to being blamed for AIDS. The focus isn't which one was worse. The focus is people who think they are superior human blame every single person in a minority group for one person's actions, and that's a pattern. When a brown man does something wrong, immediately they blame every single brown man. When a white man does something, they don't blame every single white man. Every single time in history, if you side with the leader who convinces you are a master race or human, you are never on the side, you're never on the right side of history. People need to stop acting like the single father of 3 working 2 jobs that will break a person as fragile of them so his children can have a better future will be a sexual assaulter just because of his skin color. We understand there's laws, but the moment you start treating a human less than a human and call it law, we are allowed to get mad. That just for them being undocumented does not mean they deserve to be treated this way. And to say that ICE deserves to go back to their family, I get, but then acting like they don't have thousands of sexual assault allegations against them, unless, I don't know, we just don't care about sexual assault allegations then? Or acting as if they haven't killed American citizens, haven't been threatening American citizens, haven't been kidnapping documented immigrants and American citizens is a reach. We urge this council to take a strong and principled stand and establish this immigration ad hoc committee. Thank you.
Thank you. Christina, followed by Patricio Solario, followed by Chris.
Good evening, Mayor Patino and council members. My name is Chris Flores, and I am here with Thank You in support of the 805 Immigration Coalition. I am here today to urge you to establish an immigration ad hoc committee to respond to the impacts of immigration upon our families, like my siblings and cousins and friends. There is worry in Santa Maria. Families are scared to go outside and work because of the fear of getting taken away. I believe that some of you guys aren't doing anything to help protect the community from these scary moments that is going on. Children are scared to go to school and then come home with their parents nowhere to be seen. No child should have to fear being separated from their loved ones. How come when a woman not of color says she'll go far and beyond for her children, that is okay? But when a woman of color crosses the border for her child, that isn't okay. They are both human. Why is it that the committee is being used for companions to win elections? No one feels safe at any moment, and especially people from the LGBTQ community. School is supposed to be a place where they can learn to be accepted, but now that isn't even the case with the hatred going around. The worry within families regarding ICE. Someone has mentioned that ICE deserves to go home to their families, but what about the hardworking immigrants? Do they not deserve to go home as well? Thank you for listening, y espero que sí van a empezar a proteger la comunidad. Gracias.
Thank you. Patricia Solario, followed by Chris, followed by Saul Martinez.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. Patricia Solorio. I'm a resident here in the city of Santa Maria, and I live in District 4. I also work for the Fund for Santa Barbara. I'm also here to respectfully encourage you all to put together the ad hoc committee if that's what you need to get more information. I'm a little disappointed that we didn't hear a staff report. I believe Gloria Flores in November asked for this to be postponed and tabled to February so that you all could get more information. So that was my understanding of that meeting. So again, I'm a little disappointed that staff doesn't have information for Councilmember Flores and the rest of the council members. So to be frank, I think that this is feeling like there's procedural barriers that you all are using to just elongate and just kick this can down the road. And so it's time. Have the conversation. Have the conversation with community. Everyone is open to having conversation. If it has to be an ad hoc committee, well then I guess. But other cities have done forums and heard directly from community, and I encourage you to do that. That is not just my take. It's in the Santa Maria Sun. I'll leave it for you to read about how y'all are dragging your feet, or that's what it feels like. And just to pivot a little bit, no shade to the interpreter. God bless him. I've tried to interpret in public meetings, and it is really difficult. I encourage City Council and staff to look into hiring and paying an interpreter who is trained to do that work, because it is difficult. I can offer a list of trained interpreters that work here out of the city of Santa Maria, and even offer a funding opportunity if you'd like to apply to the Fund for Santa Barbara for funding.
Thank you. Chris? Is Chris here? Okay, followed Saul Martinez.
Before I begin, I would like to make a little comment before my comment. I believe she was going first.
Who's going first? Well, I had called Chris, but I didn't see anyone walking up, and then so are you? She's Chris. Okay. You can, if you will allow her first, Mr. Martinez.
Yeah, I'll be right back.
Okay, thank you.
She's going to be doing it in Mixteco, so I'm going to be translating for her.
Okay.
Ijon di Quindo, Shandavin in Don Dendo Kivichi, Rakibiku Cristina Merida Ortiz.
How are you doing today? My name is Cristina Merida Ortiz.
Ara ije nya distrito nya 3. Ije.
And I'm located in District 3.
Ara bichi bashika shanya chinche entondu na ko in comité chinche na comunidad inmigrante.
I'm here today to ask you to support a committee and support the immigrant community.
Cinta binca bashina shindu tatong kundun emigrante randa binca bashina shindu sa separa na familia na niño bali.
And the situations that we're going through, it's very difficult, separating families and separating kids.
Tato kumi ji madre nya 4 hijos ki, madre soltera ki. Rata tatonan nota minya rata shako sendona.
I am a single mother of 4, and you can only imagine if my kids were to live or left alone.
Rasando yamani cha sondo no kandi, tato shikandi yamani nondo, jokundi vashindavinindo.
Please take my work or consider it to support us, and that's all I come here to comment about.
Mr. Martinez. Mr. Martinez.
Thank you. I was saying, I'd like to make a comment before my comment. I want the public to look up front. I believe this may be the few times, if not the first, this is happening in the city. But we have all women. We have a council made of all women. And I believe this is a big achievement for the city. And thank you for that. I just wanted to get that off my chest. Well, good evening again. My name is Saul Martinez. I'm a legal representative with MyCop. I'm also a proud resident of the city of Santa Maria, District 1. As many of my peers here tonight, I'm also here to ask you to establish an ad hoc immigration committee. I believe Councilmember Soto made a very good job at describing what this committee would look like. And we're here to support that, to ask you to support it as well. If established, this committee could offer a lot of benefits to the community, including Know Your Rights workshops, family preparedness plan workshops to support the community. And this community could hopefully also allocate city buildings to nonprofits or pro bono attorneys to offer immigration services for little or no cost to the community. And if we establish, we would like this committee to be led by Councilwoman Soto. And we would also like to include community members, local nonprofits, business owners, and even students or people within our community that have been affected by ICE activity. And we have been here over and over asking for the same thing. However, we now have seen your support. And even if you do not agree with this committee necessarily, we still would like you, to see you do something for our community. For example, Know Your Right workshops or including town hall meetings. And we do please ask you to do something. Thank you, and in you we trust.
Thank you. Steve Simonson, followed by Armando Santiago, followed by Raul Oliveira. Steve Simonson. Oh. Good evening.
Buenas tardes. This is not the first time in American history that frightened old white men have rounded up brown people for speaking Spanish. Well, that's kind of personal with me because my wife's family became citizens in 1848. Actually, her grandfather used to say, we didn't cross the border, it crossed us. In the 1930s, some of them were deported to Mexico. Now, however the current regime wants to interpret the Constitution and laws of the United States, people of conscience in Santa Maria have a higher authority. More than 175 times the scripture says, welcome the stranger. I stand before you today to be a voice for those who cannot speak for themselves, for Latin American refugees, many of them Christians who are living among us. Thus saith the Lord in Deuteronomy 27:19, cursed is anyone who withholds justice from the foreigner. Let me be clear, arresting a refugee without a required constitutional judicial warrant is withholding justice. The kidnapping of foreigners by unidentified masked governmental agents is withholding justice. I retired from the United States Army after 34 years of defending a constitution that I now see being trashed. In Malachi 3:5, the Lord of hosts says, quote, he will come to judge them and bear witness against the adulterers and liars who deny justice to the foreigners living among us, end quote. Not my words, his. I implore you not to let Santa Maria's city, mayor, and council and police department be numbered among the adulterers, pedophiles, and liars in Washington who now face the wrath of Almighty God for their malevolent treatment of the foreigners living among us. I urge you to move forward with the ad hoc committee.
Armando Santiago, Raul Oliveira.
Hola, buenas tardes, alcaldesa Patiño, concejales. Espero que estén muy bien.
Good evening, Mayor Patino and council members. I hope you're doing well.
Mi nombre es Armando Santiago, soy organizador comunitario con la organización El Proyecto Mixteco Indígena. Soy residente de Santa María en el Distrito 1.
My name is Armando Santiago. I'm a community organizer with MyCop, and I'm also a resident of Santa Maria within District 1.
Acudo en este momento con el debido respeto que se merecen ustedes y todos los que están aquí presentes.
I'm here tonight with the due respect that you all deserve, and everybody tonight who are present here.
Que necesitamos urgentemente la formación de un comité de ad hoc de inmigración enfocado en la ciudad y qué puede hacer para apoyar a los inmigrantes Necesitamos acciones más firmes que prohíban el uso de cualquier recurso municipal para ayudar en la aplicación de la ley migratoria.
I'm here to urge the council members to support the formation of the ad hoc committee that would focus in supporting our immigrant communities. We need more firm actions that prohibits the use of any city municipality resources that would support the application of federal immigration enforcement.
En este momento, las organizaciones comunitarias, organizaciones de apoyo a inmigrantes y activistas están liderando el esfuerzo brindando información, ayuda y respuesta general a la crisis actual.
Within this time frame, local community organizations and community volunteers are supporting immigrant communities and leading efforts that support with rapid response and crisis response.
Es tiempo de que nuestros funcionarios municipales den un paso al frente, que cumplan con su responsabilidad y compromiso en la ciudad de Santa María y a todos sus habitantes.
It is time for elected officials in Santa Maria to take a step forward and move forward and complete your responsibilities and commitment to the residents of the city of Santa Maria and all the community members.
Que diario salen a trabajar con miedo, pero con la necesidad de llevar comida a sus hogares, con la necesidad de cubrir los gastos en sus hogares también. Esto ya no se trata de ser empáticos, se trata de igualdad, de humanidad, de tener conciencia y corazón a nuestra misma comunidad que saca adelante a este país.
Those community members who on a daily basis go to work to support their basic necessities with food for their homes, the necessity to cover expenses, and it is time to have some sense of humanity, conscious, heart, at the same time supporting our community.
El mayor enemigo de la verdad son los hechos. Por tal manera, pido de favor que se tome acción con nuestra petición y que el poder que tienen lo apliquen para apoyar y servir a los nuestros.
The worst enemy of the truth is the actions. For now, it is time to take action with support with the petition to make sure that the adequate actions are taken to support our community. Thank you.
Thank you.
Gracias.
Raul Olivera, followed by Sergio Castillo.
Sergio?
Well, I had Raul.
Raul?
Okay. Followed by Sergio.
Okay, can you hear me right?
Mhm.
Well, I'm gonna be honest, this wasn't expected. And, me being trilingual, helping a resident here, this is what we all about, right? This is what make our city unique and different, the different perspective, the different culture. That's what make our city unique. And good evening, Major and Council Member, my name is Raul. I'm a resident of District 4. And immigration outreach, especially with Mike up in the county of Santa Barbara. We have been here many times asking for your support, and some of you have unfortunately failed in taking leadership to support all residents in Santa Maria. Instead, we focus on the past, but we have to move in the future, in the present. We have to live the moment, not the past. The past is already past. We have to focus on what's next, what's coming next. We don't have to agree on everything, but we must agree on what's necessary for our community. All rights are being violated and not respected. Our neighbors, our communities, has council asked you for your support. Every time we have come here, you see how all these don't get filled up with other community. This is what we need. Mike cannot take it alone on these issues, or cannot take on these issues alone. We need our city to take actions, not with work, not with words, but with actions. Our kids are the most impacted. The kids and the youth are the future in our city. Is this the legacy we want to live with? This is not what we hear, this is what we know. How many times we need to discuss this instead of taking actions? We urge the majority of the City Council to take a strong and principled stand with its residents. Thank you.
Thank you. Sergio, followed by Yararis Arroyo.
Good evening, Mayor and Council member. My name is Sergio Castillo. I'm a resident of District 2 and a community organizer with MyCop. I'm here to request that this council formally establish an ad hoc immigration committee. This committee will allow us to respond to increased ICE activity in Santa Maria and promote resolution to protect our immigrant community. Because of limited time, since some issue mentioned that there is not evidence of impact on families, I want to share the story of Maria. Maria lives in city of Santa Maria with her 2 young children. Her husband works a local workshop to support the family and send the children to school. One day, without warning, federal agent arrived at his workplace and arrested her husband in a raid. Imagine being Maria, waking up one day without knowing that her husband would be arrested at work. In a matter of minutes, her family falls apart. The children are scared. Without their father and their household faces the uncertainty of not knowing how they will make ends meet. That's right, it's not just a number. They are families, separated, dreams interrupted, and hearts broken. Many detained parents have no criminal record. They were just looking for work and trying to support their children. Every ICE action leaves invisible scar on the most vulnerable, children. Our community deserves protection, not fear. We ask this council to take a firm stance and establish an ad hoc immigration committee or a special meeting on the fate of immigration in Santa Maria. Thank you.
Thank you. Yahara, followed by Michelle, followed by Renee.
Good afternoon, Chair Patino and City Council. This is my first time meeting you, so my name is Yahaira Arroyo, and I am the Civic Engagement Coordinator for Santa Barbara and Ventura counties with the Mixteco Indígena Community Organizing Project. And I am here today to urge you to support the formation of an immigration ad hoc committee, or at least a special meeting on immigration focused on identifying concrete actions the City of Santa Maria can take to support its undocumented residents. We request that this ad hoc committee be led by council members Gloria Soto and Gloria Flores, who have demonstrated a willingness to listen to community concerns and take meaningful steps to move this conversation forward. The purpose of this committee is simple: to develop real solutions to help our community, which has been racially targeted and left vulnerable under this federal administration. As elected officials, it is your responsibility to protect and serve all residents of Santa Maria, and that responsibility cannot be selective based on immigration status. As a civic engagement coordinator and U.S. citizen, I wholeheartedly believe in the power of voting for leaders who genuinely represent the needs of their constituents and not those who pretend to. With city, county, and state elections approaching, the voters of Santa Maria are paying attention. They will remember who stood with them and who remained silent. The child whose parents were deported will remember. The sister separated from her brother will remember. The student who lost a classmate will remember. Overall, our community will remember. During the recent California special election on Prop 50, our canvassing and phone banking revealed something undeniable. There is a strong and growing base of Latino voters in Santa Maria, especially those who identify as indigenous. Far more than many assume. Those voters are engaged, organized, and ready to make their voices heard. Once again, I strongly urge you to act. Support the formation of this committee, work with your community, and not against it. You were elected to serve Santa Maria, and that includes its immigrant families. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you. Michelle Andres, followed by Renee Salinas.
Good evening, Mayor, council members. My name is Michelle Ambrose. I'm a policy advocate with CAUSE, volunteer for the 805 Rapid Response Network, and a voter for District 1. I'm here today to show my support for an immigrant ad hoc committee, and I want to start off by thanking you, Council Member Soto, for providing more detailed information as to what this committee can do and what it can look like. But as the city most impacted in Santa Barbara County, it is imperative that this council begin to have conversations around how the city can protect the most vulnerable in the community, which can happen in this space. And this includes everything Council Member Soto mentioned, but also things that we have been asking for the past 6 months now. So allocating city buildings to nonprofits leading this work for free or little to no cost, establishing ICE-free zones like the city of LA has already done or working to do, having the city host Know Your Rights workshops to show solidarity with the community. However, I want to emphasize that the purpose of this committee should be to uplift the voices of the immigrant community and not spew anti-immigrant rhetoric, and should be used as a space to proactively create solutions to the crisis many families are currently facing, meaning this space should be by community and for community. And so because of this, we want this ad hoc committee to be led by council members like Gloria Soto, who brought this to the table, Council Member Flores, who is looking for more information, as mentioned in the past, and we want community voices to be included. If this is something that is not possible, I ask, what can the city do to listen to those most impacted, and what can the city do to protect and provide relief to our community? We're open to working alongside of you. Given the Santa Maria has been the most impacted, protecting and supporting your immigrant constituents should not be this controversial or this difficult.
Thank you. Renee Salinas, followed by Isaac Gill, followed by Sofia Navarro.
Good evening, Mayor and council members. My name is Renee Salinas, and I'm a youth member with CAUSE. I'm a resident in District 1. I'm up here today to ask the council to establish an immigration ad hoc committee. This ad hoc committee would help address our community's concerns with the increasing ICE activity and help protect our immigrant friends and families during these harsh times. If established, this committee should be for the community, by the community, who are against ICE kidnappings. Actions that can be discussed by this committee includes city-led Know Your Rights workshops to show support for your immigrant community. The committee would also request that the SMPD is transparent on protocols used if ICE agents are in Santa Maria neighborhoods. The committee will also have resources that would aid families at this dire time. As of today, there have been 671 ICE arrests in Santa Barbara County, and in Santa Maria alone, there have been 435 kidnappings. That's 435 families who have been impacted, whether it's not knowing where the whereabouts of the person who's kidnapped is, not knowing if they've been deported, and being financially impacted. So with that being said, it's very important that the council votes yes on the ad hoc committee so we progress on protecting our immigrant communities. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Good evening, Mr. Gill.
Good evening, Madam Mayor and council members. My name is Isaac. I live in District 2 with Gloria Flores. I'm a student at Pioneer Valley High School. And I'm here today because for nearly 6 months, members of this council are failing when it comes to supporting our immigrant community and the same community that was recognized as essential workers not too many years ago. Madam Mayor, you have consistently said you don't know what the city can do due to federal and state laws, but with respect, that response is disappointing. To me and so many people in Santa Maria, from youth to adults, you've served as mayor nearly as long as I've been alive. And if 5 months is the only answer, if 5 months is what takes you to learn something, that makes me worried about your leadership. And either it's you're making a choice to not take action, or you frankly don't care, and that says a lot about your characters and morals. So instead of repeating what you can't do, let's talk about solutions, which you seem not to be able to find in a span of 5 months, but I have in less than a week because of the community here today. And frankly, here are just a few, but the most important, it's forming this ad hoc committee on immigration led by Councilmember Soto, and who have demonstrated receptiveness and leadership. And what that will have is knowing your right workshops, allocating maybe city buildings at a low cost or no cost to nonprofit organizations. And it's so crucial that this committee is working with our community, our residents, our neighbors, our business owners, students, and community organizations that are directly impacted by the surge in ICE activity. Furthermore, as of today, there have been about 435 reported ICE detentions in Santa Maria. And that's our neighbors, our family members, our workers, and those so many families separated. And it's so important that these activists and our community organizations are doing the work which this council lacks to do. And it's time for this council to match that urgency. We're tired of hearing no, or there's nothing we can do. And if forming an ad hoc committee is not feasible, then tell us clearly. What can the city do? And as our elected officials, you have to have an answer, or will it take another 5 months where the community has to give you an answer once again? Our community needs action today, and today will show if this council is willing to fight for the community or not. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Gill. Sophia Navarro. Sophia?
Hello, everybody. All right, sorry. Good evening, Council. My name is Sophia. I don't know if, I think this is my third time here. I don't know if I introduced myself last time. I'm Sophia. I live in Santa Maria. I'm in District 4. I volunteered with the Rapid Response Network and the 805 UndocuFund. I want to thank you for having the ad hoc committee on the agenda. A little late, but it's okay. Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Gloria Soto, for describing what that committee should help us achieve. I would like to tell you all, just real quick, sorry. It has to do with it, okay? I swear. I would like to tell you all about my kids, the Santa Maria Bonita School District's beliefs, just real quick. We believe each person has an inherent value and deserves respect. We believe all people belong and have a voice and can contribute. This is just a couple bullet points. We believe in honesty and integrity and to build trust. We believe in physical and emotional safety is a foundation for personal fulfillment. We believe service is an act of love. We believe that there's strength and power in cultural diversity. So on that note, I would like the council to please make sure these values are instilled into the ad hoc committee, into the policies that you guys make when you guys are making policies, when you guys are speaking about the community, immigrants or non-immigrants. Please lean towards educating the community instead of criticizing things they know. Running into the walls or like, DUIs or traffic violations. Those are things that can be solved, I believe, with education and with a class for the community. They don't know the laws, they're new here. This is a new environment for them. We shouldn't be criminalizing something that can be learned, a driver's ed class maybe. So please learn to...
Go ahead, finish up. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. I just started learning about nonviolent communication. It aims to increase empathetic understanding and reduce conflict in everyday interactions. And I hope you all consider researching and applying this when discussing our community members. We need to hold each other accountable and remind each other that respect to one another is essential. I used to believe and trust in law enforcement, but witnessing their crass behavior with community members just makes me lose respect for all law enforcement. The crass behavior of the ICE agents, because I am a rapid responder, and I am out there documenting, and I thought it was something safe for me to do. Like, okay, I'm gonna go document real quick while my kids are in school. It turns out it's a little violent and I'm putting myself in danger. Why am I I'm going to continue putting myself in danger, but the officers shouldn't be violent towards me. I'm just a lady with the phone documenting. I shouldn't be scared for my life.
Thank
and
you,
I
Mrs.
really
Navarro.
hope. Thank you. Okay.
Thank you. So earlier I called Rochelle Carr. Is Rochelle Carr here now? Earlier I called. Okay. Excuse me. I had called you earlier, yes. She spoke during.
Okay. Hello, Mayor Patino and council members. Again, my name is Rochelle Carr, and I'm a nurse and a volunteer with 805 and DocuFund. In the 4 days after Christmas, there were 160 kidnappings combined in Santa Maria, Lompoc, and SLO County. And this happened one day after we finished delivering Christmas presents to every family that had a family member taken from them. And it was really nice to see the children choosing their toys. But afterwards, when I got home, I broke down crying because I realized that every street corner on the north side of town, there is a child living without their father. And ICE does not behave in a professional manner. They took 5 men from, I believe it was Bunny Avenue, while they were washing cars, while they were working. They attempted to take a woman, a mother, walking outside her apartment. Yes, of course, we need an immigration ad hoc committee to address these issues, to make a plan for how we can mitigate harm and make our town safe, as well as learn how best to provide the resources for those who need them. And I do still have the flyers. Thank you.
Thank you. I have a Stefan Ramirez.
Estefania. Estefania?
Stephanie? Okay.
Good evening, Mayor and council members. My name is Stefania, and I'm a proud resident of Santa Maria, specifically from District 3 in Santa Barbara County. I'm here today to strongly urge this council to formally establish an immigration ad hoc committee. This ad hoc committee would help address our community's concerns on the increasing ICE activity within Santa Maria. If established, this committee could discuss potential action items and resolutions the city take to protect our immigrant community. This includes sending FOIA requests to ICE director to receive more information on how many arrests have been made in Santa Maria and ICE activity within city limits. We motion to establish ICE-free zones across city-owned and city-controlled properties, requires clear signage on city properties, and establish a permit process for civil enforcement operations, as they have done in Los Angeles. We want this ad hoc committee to be led by council members Gloria Soto and Gloria Flores, who have been more receptive to this issue. We want community voices to be included in this committee. Committee members, community-based organizations, business owners, students, and anyone who have seen themselves be impacted by the rampant ICE activity within our city. We are tired of hearing no, or that this isn't possible. If forming this ad hoc committee isn't feasible, what can the city do to provide relief to the hundreds of families currently impacted? Recent immigration enforcement actions have created fear, isolations, or family separations in the community. Some kids are afraid of not seeing their parents again. Even parents are afraid that their kids will know that they are not coming back. The people ICE are taking are some of the people that pick the fruits and vegetables that are on our table. They do all the hard labor that not all of you want to do. From personal experience, I'm scared that I have to carry my ID just in case they try to take me. I also don't want my brother to grow up in a community that is not safe for anyone in general. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, do we have any written comments?
Yes, we received 4 written comments for 11C. Danny Mogg, Sue and Larry Heitman, Hunter Jameson, and Joyce Ellen Littman.
Thank you. I am going to read, which I have done before. We know that immigration enforcement is a sensitive issue, and we've heard concerns from residents, community groups, and nonprofits about federal immigration enforcement. Our message as the City of Santa Maria is clear. We want people to feel safe interacting with all city employees, especially police officers, and without fear. The City of Santa Maria deeply appreciates and values the trust, cooperation between all departments and all of its residents, regardless of immigration status. The city remains strictly focused on local public safety responsibilities. Anyone who victimizes members of our community will be held accountable under the law. The Santa Maria Police Department does not enforce federal immigration laws or take part in immigration enforcement operations. Additionally, we adhere to all state laws that place limitations on local law enforcement's role in immigration matters. Neither the city, the county, nor the state of California can lawfully restrict federal agents, including immigrations and customs enforcement agents, from conducting administrative or law enforcement actions within its boundaries. The city and city council lack legal authority to prohibit the federal government from conducting federal law enforcement actions. That is the purview of the state of California and/or the federal government. We respectfully respond that such a request be made to your state and federally elected representatives. If a resident is a victim and needs police services, irrespective of his or her immigration status, that person is welcome to contact the Santa Maria Police Department. Your immigration status does not affect how our city treats or serves you, and we will not ask about your immigration status. So, anyway, Ms. This is a statement I read from the city. This statement I read from the city, it's from us. So, anyway, I think it's important that this has been going on for quite some time, and we need a motion to move this, whether or not we want an ad hoc committee to move forward, and I certainly will move that to move forward as a motion.
Madam Mayor, am I hearing you say that you want to make a motion to establish the ad hoc committee?
No, to move it forward as a motion.
So she wants a
to
motion.
Move it forward.
So
okay.
Because it was tabled, okay?
I see.
And so
the
we are
motion was
discussing
made to untable it.
to
which is why
untable
we're
it.
here.
Yes,
Right.
because we need to take it off the table.
It's already off the table. That's why we're
Yeah,
here.
Madam Mayor, excuse me. It has been taken off the table. It is here agendized.
Right.
So you can either have a motion to create an ad hoc committee, in which case it would come back for nominations and positioning by council members.
Okay.
That would be the appropriate motion.
Yes, the motion to have and establish an ad hoc committee, yes.
So I move that I think she's saying that we're moving it forward, right?
We're moving forward and to establish an ad hoc committee. Because we had table, it was taken off the table.
Are you making the motion now?
I was making the motion.
Okay. Got it.
Were you going, did you second?
I'm going to second the motion.
Further discussion?
Yes. She asked for further discussion. And yes, there is further discussion on my end. I took the time to prepare what the purpose of the committee would be and the way in which the committee would fulfill that purpose, Madam Mayor. And I would like for us to ensure that that the structure that I proposed is what's being also taken into
Well,
consideration.
I think that the committee would establish that, not, the committee would establish it, we would approve it. Is that right, Mr. Watson?
Once a committee is established and members are created and adopted by this council, then they would establish their own ground rules.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Yep. Thank you for that clarification.
Okay. We have a motion and a second.
Madam Clerk?
Mayor Patino?
I'm voting no on this motion.
Councilmember Aguilar?
Yes.
Councilmember Soto?
Yes.
And
aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Flores?
No.
5 months? Are you kidding me?
Okay.
All right.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Wow.
Okay, we will now hear a report from the city manager, Mr. Rowlands. I said we will now hear from a report from Mr. Rowlands.
Okay. All right, there you go. Thank you, Madam Mayor and City Council. The next council meeting, we'll be looking at doing a presentation on a drone as first responder in a real-time crime center, red light cameras, take a look at the drafted CDBG action plan, recommendations for fiscal year 2026 and 27, and then also a special budget policy will be discussed with City Council at the next meeting. Thank you very much. That's all I have for tonight.
So now we will have reports from city members. Ms. Flores, do you want to go first? Ms. Excuse me. Yes, you are out of order. Thank you. Okay, we're listening now to the reports from city council members. Ms. Flores? Okay. We'll have a 5-minute recess. Okay. Okay. Ms. Flores, you want to?
So on Monday, I read Reading Across America at Octavera School. And then on February 28th, I went to
Yeah, our people. Hey, Dave, have the team sit down. Let's get our...
Okay. Yeah, we're going to move forward. Okay, Miss Councilmember Flores.
So I went to a special goals, the City of Santa Maria goal session on Saturday, February 28th. And on Monday, March 2nd, I went to Altavera School, Reading Across America.
Thank you. Ms. Aguilera Hernandez.
I went and did a resolution for a church for the 5 years. I attended an Econ Alliance, and there was a retirement for a judge. And I attended a part of a town hall meeting that Councilmember Flores had. And I attended the Econ Alliance Ag Forum on the 25th. And that's all I have to report.
Thank you. Councilmember Soto?
Yes. On February 24th, I attended the State of Education. On February 25th, I attended a meeting with the Budget Ad Hoc Committee. On February 26th, I met with folks regarding the Cook Street Apartments. Oh, Urban Planning Concepts. I met with Lori. On February 28th, we held, I attended the all-day goal session meeting with the city. And those are all my, oh, and then today I attended a public budgets and revenues working group. Those are all my reportable items.
Thank you. On the 17th, did the Ben Hayes Show. February 18th, attended the Marion Foundation breakfast with the president. Attended the quarterly city commerce meeting with Vandenberg. On the 19th, I attended the SBCAG Board of Directors meeting. And I think the northern part of Santa Barbara County will be happy to know that now that the funds of the Measure A that have been used in South County are now going to go to North County. So we'll be able to get the North Broadway intersection done. We'll be able to get Betaravia done, and we'll be able to get, Mr. Fulgoni, help me, McCoy done. And so all that money is going to be coming up here. You're going to be seeing all these intersections redone up here in North County. I had the one-on-one with SBCAG. We meet with the executive director once a year. And February 23rd, the Mayor's Youth Task Force met. On the 24th, did the University of California Student and Policy Center Conference on Housing. Attended the 2026 State of Education at Hancock College. On the 25th, attended Econ Alliance Ag Forum. And the 28th, we did the City of Santa Maria goal session and special meeting with the rest of the council members. This morning, I did Read Across America at Ontiveros Elementary School. And this evening, I want to close this meeting in respect of a firefighter that was from Santa Maria that passed away. Her name is Linda Glines. Linda Glines was born on October 17th, 1947, in Hawthorne, California, passed away peacefully on February 14th. She was raised by her mom and grandmother in Missouri until the age of 12. Moved to Santa Maria. She went to El Camino Junior High and graduated from Santa Maria High School in 1965. Linda was a devoted mother to four, strong, and a single mom. And while working at Howard's Drive-In, she was recruited by the chief of the Santa Maria Fire Department. She enrolled in classes at Allen Hancock College, and after graduating valedictorian, was hired by Chief Crakes of the Santa Maria Fire Department in 1979, making history as the first female firefighter hired by the Santa Maria Fire Department. Linda also taught at Hancock College, where she met her husband, Chuck. Throughout her career, she was promoted from firefighter to engineer, then to captain, to battalion chief in 1995, and she retired from the city service in 1999 after more than 2 decades of dedicated service. She enjoyed many things, such as sewing, camping, traveling with friends, but she always, always enjoyed her family. She is survived by her husband, Chuck, her sister, Kathy Lopez, her children, Tim Giovanacci, Adriana, Tandy Hester, Tammy Trailer, and Gina Giovanacci. And it's just so remarkable that Linda was the first to be one of our firefighters, and if any of you knew her, she was a very positive and uplifting person. And so I would like to adjourn the meeting in her honor tonight. Thank you. This meeting is adjourned.